Assalamualaikum students. This is the part 2 of your lecture 1 week 1, and today we are going to discuss about the transport of different gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. Like other materials, respiratory gases are also transported in the different regions of the body. The blood transports oxygen from lungs to the different tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to the lungs. Basically, blood is responsible for this transport, and the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place by the help of different pigments, for example hemoglobin. Now the transport of oxygen, basically approximately 97% of the oxygen is carried by the red blood cells as oxyhemoglobin. Now what is oxyhemoglobin? It is a molecule that is formed by the union of hemoglobin and oxygen molecule, and the remaining 3% of the oxygen is transported in the dissolved form in plasma. At high partial pressure of oxygen, it binds with hemoglobin and form oxyhemoglobin in the presence of an enzyme known as carbonic anhydrase. 4 molecules of oxygen can bind with 1 molecule of hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin, and the ability of oxygen to bind with hemoglobin or ability of hemoglobin to bind with oxygen is called oxygen carrying capacity of blood. Now the transport of carbon dioxide, basically carbon dioxide is transported in the blood in 3 different ways: in the form of bicarbonate ions, in the form of carboxyhemoglobin, and dissolved in blood plasma. Now in the form of bicarbonate ions, 70% of carbon dioxide is carried to be dissolved or to be carried as a bicarbonate ion. Carbon dioxide diffuses into the blood and it enters into the red blood cells, where it combines with water molecule to form an acid known as carbonic anhydrase in the presence of the same enzyme carbonic anhydrase. As carbonic acid is a highly unstable molecule, it readily dissociates into hydrogen ions and bicarbonate ions, and we all are well familiar from the nature of hydrogen ions that they increases the acidity of a area where they are present, that is they lead to the decrease in pH. This is prevented by the buffer mechanism, where hydrogen ions gets associated with oxyhemoglobin to form hemoglobinic acid, and oxygen is released into the tissues. Basically, the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide is carried out side by side. From the inside of red blood cells, negatively charged bicarbonate ions diffuse to the plasma, and this is balanced by the diffusion of chloride ions inside the red blood cells. This is achieved by special carrier proteins, and this shifting of chloride ions is known as chloride shifts or Hamburger's phenomenon. The chloride ions that enters the red blood cells, they combine with potassium to form potassium chloride, and the bicarbonate ion leaves the red blood cells, combining sodium to form sodium bicarbonate, and through this mechanism pH of the blood is maintained. Now as a carboxyhemoglobin, 23% of the carbon dioxide is carried as a carboxyhemoglobin, and this reaction depends upon basically on the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, and only 7% of the carbon dioxide is carried as dissolved in blood plasma. Now the respiratory pigments, there are different types of respiratory pigment which are colored molecules, and they contain non-protein part known as heme group, and we will study here 2 different respiratory pigments, that is myoglobin and hemoglobin. Now what is difference between them? Hemoglobin consists of 4 polypeptide chains and myoglobin consists of only 1 polypeptide chain. Hemoglobin molecule contains iron ring, while myoglobin contain only 1 heme group. Hemoglobin has less affinity with oxygen, while myoglobin has very high affinity with oxygen. Hemoglobin transports oxygen and it is found in red blood cells, while myoglobin stores oxygen and it is found in muscles. Now the respiratory disorders, the diseases of respiratory system. There are two types of infections: upper respiratory tract infection and lower respiratory tract infection. In case of upper respiratory tract, sinusitis is well familiar. It is inflammation of nasal sinuses. It is caused by the cold and wet climate, atmospheric pollution, smoke, overcrowding, dental infection and viral infections. Its symptoms include fever, nasal obstruction, raspy noise, nasal discharge, loss of sense of smell, facial pain or headache. And its treatment: if it is a bacterial infection, it can be treated with antibiotics. Sulfur can also be given, and nebulization, that is steam inhalation, is also be very useful. Now in case of lower respiratory tract, tuberculosis, pulmonary tuberculosis or TB is a highly contagious disease. In this case, alveoli burst and they are replaced by the inelastic connective tissues. The lungs tissues build a protective layer around the infectious agent, that is a bacilli or bacterium, and form a tiny capsule known as tubercle. Its cause is Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is a bacteria. Its symptoms include low-grade fever, night sweats, weight loss, weakness and cough. Its treatment includes taking medicines for 9 months, and this course is known as DOTS, that is daily observed treatment short course. Now the third is disorders of lungs, and in this case lung cancer is highly infectious. It can be a malignant tumor. Its cause is smoking. Tobacco smoke mostly causes this disease, and in addition, different types of radiations can play their role in the development of this tumor. Its symptoms include thickening and calcining of the walls of the bronchi, loss of cilia, bronchi are blocked, and cutting off the supply of air to the lungs. Its treatment mostly includes the operation known as pneumonectomy, and treatment can also be included with chemotherapy and radiotherapy. Now the effects of smoking, as you all know that smoking has very bad effects on our health. They can cause lung cancer. Besides the lung cancer, they can also cancer of mouth, pharynx and larynx. Morning cough is very common. More risk of infections due to the loss of cilia, and they can worsen the asthma and other allergies. This was all about from chapter 14, and here is your homework that read and learn the chapter very thoroughly. Highlight all the important points, read all the extra side information boxes given in your book, solve your exercise, and if you have any query you can ask any question. Thank you and have a nice day.